moving into a new place or, just seeing a new face on your street, that first interaction can feel strangely high stakes.
Definitely.
You want to be friendly, you want to be clear, and you definitely want to avoid just fumbling over your words.
Right.
We've been given this stack of resources dedicated entirely to solving this problem. Simple, high-utility social scripts that act as a perfect cheat sheet for building that instant neighborly rapport.
And when we look at these source materials, what really stands out is that focus on linguistic efficiency.
Good.
We're talking about a situation with, low information, but potentially high social anxiety. So these simple phrases, they're the foundational building blocks for a community relationship.
Because they make it easier.
They minimize the cognitive load for everyone involved. The connection can just happen instantly without overthinking.
That makes perfect sense. So our mission today is really to dig into the psychology, the social leverage behind these basic phrases. This isn't just vocabulary.
No, not at all.
It's a strategic guide to making a positive first impression with minimal effort. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
Before we even get to the full introduction, we have to start with the most basic foundation.
Yeah.
The actual greetings. Our sources highlight that if you stumble here, it kind of throws off the whole interaction.
Exactly. You have to start practicing the most basic exchanges until they are automatic. Whether it's hello, hi, good morning.
Or good afternoon, depending on the time.
Right. These aren't just polite noises. They are the required non-threatening signal that a conversation is about to begin. They set the conversational rhythm before any real information is even exchanged.
Okay, so once that signal is accepted, we move into the core structure. We looked at that example dialogue between Sarah and Tom, which starts with what we can call the direct anchor. Hello, I'm name.
And the instruction here is so critical. Clarity above all else. In a new environment, especially if there's background noise or maybe an unfamiliar accent, just saying your name clearly and deliberately, that's the first step to reducing anxiety for both of you. You're providing the necessary identity marker without any fluff.
And immediately after stating your name, you provide the justification for the interruption. That's the next anchor phrase. I just moved here.
This is a social masterstroke. It really is.
Why do you say that?
By saying, I just moved here, you immediately give context. You justify why you're approaching them. It just removes that lingering, awkward feeling of, why is this stranger talking to me? The source material even calls it the contextual permission slip.
I love that. And what's fascinating here is the utility of the alternatives they provide. So if you can't use I just moved here, the script suggests I'm new here, which is broader.
Right.
Or specifics like, I moved here last week.
Yeah.
How do those small linguistic shifts change the social dynamic?
Well, if you say, I moved here yesterday, you're signaling that you are likely still overwhelmed, you're untacking.
Okay, I see.
So you might be subtly lowering the neighbor's expectation for a long chat, while also maybe increasing their desire to offer help.
Whereas I'm new here is just more general.
Exactly. It's a statement that allows the interaction to proceed at a more leisurely pace. That slight modification of timing dictates the entire social state you're communicating.
Okay, now let's talk about the counter response because it's just as important. When you're introduced to someone, the expected and, as the source says, the always correct sentence is, nice to meet you. But wait, isn't that just universally understood? Why did the sources feel the need to highlight this phrase specifically?
That's a great question, because in social situations where anxiety is high, people often default to silence, or they try to skip this immediate affirmation and jump straight to small talk, like the weather.
I've seen that happen.
The sources emphasize, nice to meet you, because it's a low-effort, high-impact verbal expression of goodwill. It signals active acceptance of the introduction. Skipping it, even with a smile, can leave the other person feeling slightly dismissed. It needs that immediate reciprocal action.
And if you're the established resident, the perfect reply, which follows that acceptance, is the inclusion signal. Welcome to the neighborhood.
That phrase is extremely powerful. Psychologically, it's a statement that means you are now one of us.
Wow, yeah.
This is vital for integrating a newcomer. It immediately combats any initial feeling of being an outsider and positions them not as a stranger, but as a permanent, accepted member of the community.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. We're moving beyond simple acceptance and into establishing warmth potential for future interaction. We need the real social lubricants.
The phrases that build that supportive bridge.
Exactly. And the most powerful one in the material is what we're calling the support bridge. If you need anything, just ask.
Let's analyze the depth of this sentence for a moment. Our sources describe it as a very kind phrase, but its utility goes way beyond just, actual logistics.
Oh, so?
In social exchange theory, just making this offer, even if you know it's highly unlikely they'll ever ask to borrow a cup of sugar, it establishes a baseline of trust and supportive intent.
So the value is in the gesture itself.
The value is in the gesture, not the eventual transaction. You've signaled that you operate within a supportive environment. The sources actually encourage you, the listener, to practice this phrase until it just rolls off the tongue naturally.
So the key isn't necessarily being ready to haul their couch up 3 flights of stairs,
Right, not necessarily.
but establishing the potential for help, which fundamentally changes the nature of the relationship. That's real social leverage.
Precisely. It's an investment in future goodwill, and often this phrase leads right into that necessary buffer of small talk. The sources give the example of Sarah just observing that the area is a very quiet place.
That kind of simple observation, linking a shared environment, it keeps the pressure off, doesn't it? It moves the conversation from the official script to a more casual shared moment before you have to wrap up.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've successfully executed the greeting, anchored the introduction, established acceptance, and built the support bridge. Now we have to exit gracefully without making it feel abrupt or rushed.
The graceful exit. Very important.
Which brings us to the perfect, low-commitment neighbor sign-off, see you around.
See you around is fantastic because it perfectly manages expectations. It clearly communicates, we will meet again soon.
But without being weird or specific.
Exactly. No demand for a specific meeting time or place. It allows for a natural, open-ended continuation of the relationship, which is ideal for neighbors you expect to see randomly. It really is the gold standard for ending a casual conversation.
And for broader situations, our sources also noted the reliable utility of just have a good day. It's polite, it's clean, and it concludes the conversation completely.
So if we connect this all to the bigger picture, mastering these structured parts, the greeting, the introduction anchor, the friendly offer, and the polite exit, it's an anti-anxiety framework.
I like that. A framework.
When you know the exact functional script to follow, you're protected from information overload and that pressure of having to spontaneously invent what to say next.
But the words themselves are only half the battle. We absolutely have to talk about the 3 general tips from source material for delivery, because delivery is everything.
It is, especially in these low-information social encounters. And the tips are simple, but so often overlooked. Speak slowly, smile, and sound friendly.
Okay, why is speaking slowly so critical here? Doesn't that make the exchange take longer?
It's about minimizing the chance of miscommunication. Speaking slowly reduces the cognitive pressure on the person listening, allowing them to process your name, your context, your intent clearly.
So rushing makes you sound insincere.
It can. Rushing your delivery can imply you're insincere or just eager to leave, which defeats the whole purpose of the friendly script.
And the smile and friendly tone, I assume that just reinforces the goodwill of the words themselves.
It authenticates them. The smile and friendly tone are the nonverbal cues that authenticate the linguistic output. If you deliver, if you need anything, just ask with a flat tone.
The message is lost.
It's entirely lost. These nonverbal cues transform a mere sentence into a genuine social invitation. They signal approachability, which is precisely what you need to establish.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? It means you have a high-utility toolkit. You can take this structure and use it immediately, knowing that every single phrase has a strategic purpose.
A purpose in establishing trust and community. And remember that mastering simple sentence structures prevents you from feeling overwhelmed. Start small.
Okay, let's end with a final provocative thought. A low-stakes way for you to practice simple sentence structure based on the advice in our sources. We invite you to consider this community question, designed for practicing clarity. What's the first thing you do in the morning? Don't overthink the answer. Just practice formulating a single, simple, clear sentence in response. For instance, the example provided in the source was, "My quick breakfast is a banana."
Simple. Clear.
Exactly. Practice building your own clear answer, and you'll find that those slightly more complex neighbor interactions start to feel effortless. Thank you for diving deep with us today.